Hello, friends. So, our universe was created in a laboratory in an alternate universe as an experiment that went wrong. This is the most amazing story over here. So, there's a guy named Jerry Wills, very impressive man. I like him a whole lot. And his life story is just bananas. I mean, he literally was born and abandoned in a barn in the middle of nowhere next to an Air Force base, partially raised by the government, and is convinced that he is an alien sent to Earth. And when you listen to him talk, you'll be convinced too. Very trustworthy, credible person, and I like him a lot. He's kind of like a modern day Indiana Jones. Now, one of his most amazing stories is his experience at Amuru Muru in Peru. It's by Lake Titicaca. It's this stone monument. It's like a carving, like a portal on the side of this stone mountain. It's very cool looking, very mysterious. The locals call it the Door of the Devil because everyone disappears there and doesn't come back, but it translates to the gate to the gods. Now, what you do is you're trained by a shaman, and you go there with a shaman, and you put your head in a certain place and your hands in a certain place, and you do a series of tones. And these tones unlock the portal, and you transport somewhere else. Now, he did this on his honeymoon with his fiance and a bunch of other people and a shaman, and they all report the same thing. When he did the tones, he glowed, levitated, and disappeared, okay? That's what they saw. But when he came back, what he reported was the most amazing story ever, and it tells us, according to him, where we fall in the spectrum of the universes in reality. Now, check this out. So he reported when he did that and the tones and he glowed, levitated, and disappeared, that he went into this bubble, floated through the cosmos. He saw all the nebula and all the galaxies and everything, and then appeared in this blinding white room. And in this room was no body, just things. And he couldn't make sense of what the things were. Then this voice, he said it sounded like it came over a loudspeaker, said basically, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" And he's like, I don't know what's going on. And he kind of gave a little spiel, and he's like, "Where am I?" And they told him this story. This is bananas. This will blow your mind. But this is the story they said. They were scientists in a laboratory that, when they explained it, sounds a lot like CERN. They were smashing particles together, trying to figure out what the universe is. They're trying to figure out what, they're in a different universe, an alternate universe. They were trying to figure out what their universe is and where they stand in the universe. And in doing so, they were doing this experiment, smashing particles together, and there was a spark that happened. And the spark like started growing, okay, in this laboratory, and they weren't expecting it. And so it started growing, and they started putting these bars around it, right? They had these like energy bars that they were putting around this glowing spark because it's like a glowing plasma fire that they were trying to contain because it was growing, and they're in a laboratory. So they start putting these bars around it, these energy bars, to kind of keep it contained. And he drew a picture of it. I'll put it up on the screen. And it just kept growing and growing and growing. And at a certain point, it just grew and grew outside of them. It just kept going, right? And then they found themselves inside this thing, and it was just growing all around them. And when they tried to, these scientists were exploring this new thing that they created, they started finding life in it. And what they realized is that at this point, like, the dimensions changed. So they were like these higher dimensional entities, and then they were exploring this lower dimensional place that they created. And they discovered that they had created a universe. And in this universe, there was little sparks of life all over it that were creating life. And they weren't expecting that. They weren't expecting any of this, but they definitely weren't expecting to find intelligent life being formed and grown and propagated around this universe that they created in a laboratory by accident. And then what they discovered after all this, so they put these portals all around Earth and all around these other planets. So what a Muru is a portal that they created so that they could come into here and kind of investigate. And they put them in all the different planets that contain life around the universe so that they could kind of keep an eye on things. And because they're scientists, they're just researching. They're like, okay, what's going on now? But we, if done the right way, can actually go through that portal to them. They made the portal so they could come into this world, but we can go into their world. And they're in an alternate universe, a different universe. And what they discovered through all this is that there's this like nesting, a hierarchy of universes. But it's not really like there's like one universe and then one's underneath it. What they found is that there's almost an infinite, they think infinite, they don't know for sure, but they assume there's an infinite number of universes above them and below them, because our universe keeps making new universes. That's what the black holes are. So what they said is that on one end is a black hole, and on the other end is a white hole, and that white hole is birthing a new universe. And that is this never-ending, self-propagating system that's continuously creating new universes, and inside those universes are continuously creating new life forms. And that all those intelligent life forms are all searching for the same thing. Where are they? What are they? Where did this come from? What's outside of it? And as they start exploring, they realize that, oh, once you explore your whole universe, there's another universe. And once you explore that, there's another one. And they find all these like wormholes, all these portals that go from one to the other. It's like this infinite tunnel system. But it just keeps going. It keeps growing. The universes keep growing and keeps forming new life. So think about how big our universe is. And then think about how many black holes we have. Then think about on the other side of those black holes are white holes creating new universes. This is the picture that they're painting, and that they were basically scientists creating this in a laboratory. The laboratory sounds a lot like CERN, and now when you actually study what CERN's doing, it makes you really think, is that what CERN's doing? Are they literally creating new universes? Because they always talk about how what they do can create these little mini micro black holes. Well, they're already talking about building a new, bigger, better CERN. Well, maybe they're not going to make micro black holes at that point. Maybe they're going to make normal black holes. And on the other side of that black hole is a white hole, which is a universe in its own, a brand new universe. And that's exactly what these guys, this voice that was in that white room that Jerry Wills was talking to, said happened. They accidentally created a universe by creating a black hole. On the other side of the black hole is a white hole. That was a universe. And when they investigated that universe, expecting to find nothing, they found a whole bunch of planets with a whole bunch of life. That's freaking wild, isn't it? Anyways, let me know what y'all think about this story. Have a beautiful day. Peace.